Hello friends, and welcome to another WSIB Truth Matters with Joe Machado. I hope you're doing well. It's Monday. It's a beautiful day out there. It smells like spring. I hope it's going to stay like this for a while and we have an early spring. Anyway, I hope you had a nice weekend. And today I'm going to talk to you about a particular subject matter that may or may not apply in your case, but I did come across this situation quite a number of times over the past 30 years with my paralegal firm. And so I thought it would be something that I could talk about and that could be of use to some of you. And so the subject matter is benefit calculations for multiple claims falling under different legislations. So I guess the easiest way to explain that is, so before 1990, there was a particular legislation and certain policies on how benefits were calculated if you had a workplace injury or an illness. In January of 1990, there was a new set of laws based on Bill 162, and there were significant amendments to the Workers' Compensation Act. And so the structure of benefits changed for injuries between January 1st, 1990 and December 31st, 1997. And then again, on January 1st, 1998, there was another major change to the legislation under Bill 99. It was the introduction of the Workplace Safety and Insurance Act. And that the act governed how benefits were calculated. And there was another big change to the structure of benefits and how they were calculated for injuries between January 1st, 1998 to present. And so if you happen to have injuries that fall under those different time dates and those legislations, then it's worthwhile knowing how one claim may affect another. The WSIB calls this blending of benefits. So I'm going to try and explain it in a very simple form. I'm going to restrict this to benefits that are paid, total temporary disability benefits, future economic loss, and loss of earnings benefits. Those are the more important ones. They're sort of long-term benefits. And it's important that you understand how one claim may have an impact on the other. So the first scenario, I'm going to go through about 4 scenarios with you. The first scenario is very straightforward. So you have an injury in July of 1990, and you receive total temporary disability benefits for a period of time. You may receive some supplements, and then you're awarded a permanent disability award if your injury resulted in permanent restrictions or a permanent disability. So we'll call it 20%. So that 20% permanent disability is paid. It's a percentage of your actual earnings. So the WSIB calculated your earnings based on 90% of your net average earnings, the take-home pay. There are many factors that could have been considered in that calculation. I'm not going to get into that today. I did cover it in one previous video. But we're going to talk about just the 90% of your net take-home pay. So let's say it was $1,000 that you took home. Your pension would be based on 20% of that, so $200, very easy. That pension is paid for life. So then, whether you stay with your accident employer or you move or you find a different job and you have an injury, let's say June of 1994, which falls under Bill 162, so January 1, 1990 to December 31st, 96. So for that injury, you take some time off work, you're paid some total temporary disability benefits for that, and let's assume you're not able to go back to your previous job. You do have a non-economic loss award, so for pain and suffering, you do have permanent restrictions, and through labor market reentry services, you're able to find a job that pays less than what you were earning at the time of your injury. and the board assesses a future economic loss award. That's the initial determination of that award is based on these factors. So that you have a permanent impairment, your post-injury earnings changed as a result of labor market reentry services, or you found a different job on your own and you were able to mitigate some of your wage loss. The WSIB pays the difference in the form of a future economic loss award. That award is reviewed after 24 months of the initial determination. They call it the R1 review, and then it's locked in for 3 years, at which time they do the final review, the 50-month review, and they lock it in until 65. You are still required to report material change in circumstances if there's been an improvement or a deterioration to your condition that can result in the change to that amount of the future economic loss award. So you still have to report material changes. But the question is, does the pension that you receive for your pre-1990 claim come or is considered in any way in the determination of your future economic loss award? And the answer is no. The WSIB can't touch that for any reason. All right? This coffee is especially delicious today. So, the second scenario. So now you've had an injury in pre-90, you have 20% pension. You have an injury in 94, and you have a, let's call it a $300 a month partial future economic loss award. And now you have an injury in 2020. And you're entitled to receive loss of earnings benefits. As indicated before, the law changed, and with Bill 99, there was a change in how benefits are calculated, some of them very much to the detriment of injured workers, but that's a discussion for another day. And so does the WSIB have the right to use your earnings, your future economic loss award, the $300 a month that you get for your 94 accident, and the $200 a month that you get for your pre-1990 claim? And the answer is no. They're not earnings, and the WSIB is not entitled to consider them earnings and use them in any way to reduce your loss of earnings benefit. And if they try to tell you that they can, just tell them. Joe Machado said they can't do that. Although they've been known to make mistakes and try to do shit that they can't do. But the bottom line is, and that's why I'm sharing this with you, they have a hard time keeping things straight in one legislation, let alone three. So, you know how I feel about this. You just never take what they say at face value. And I'm telling you this based on thousands of experiences of dealing with these guys for over 30 years. And they know I've got thousands of examples where they just totally fucked up. Sometimes I believe intentionally. So anyway, they call it the blending of benefits. And the policy states that an LOE benefit can be paid independently and concurrently with the following WSIB benefits paid under separate claims: permanent disability benefits, as I've explained earlier, future economic loss benefits, and or other LOE benefit. So you could have two claims that fall under the Workplace Safety and Insurance Act after January 1st, 98, in which case you may have two different levels of earnings. And so, they can't just carte blanche and start deducting. Each injury should be calculated, considered based on its own merit. But along those lines, because I always like to leave you with something, so today I'm going to share Mr. Smiley's tip of the day. I love Mr. Smiley. You're really, really helpful in explaining some of this stuff. Always check with someone who knows the law extensively, and I'm talking 3 massive legislations over the last 30 years that govern workplace safety or workplace injury or illness claims before you settle on anything they tell you. Always check. Because you know what? It's money in your pocket, and it should stay where it belongs. Along those lines, my friends, I hope that you were able to find some of this information useful to you. I know that there are a lot of people that this could help. And if you have any questions about any of this with this video or any other subject pertaining to the Workplace Safety and Insurance Board, then by all means send me an email. My email address is down in the video description, joemachado@WSIBsettlements.com. And I invite you to visit WSIBsettlements.com, my company. And if you have any issues, any problems whatsoever with respect to your WSIB claim, by all means, check out our company because we can help you. There's nothing that can come up with your claim that we can't help you with. Even if it's just to tell you that, you know what, it's not going to go anywhere. But even then, it's important to have closure so you can move on. Okay, friends? So I'd like to thank my subscribers for sharing my videos. It's really helping me to build the channel. I appreciate that. My goal is to reach as many injured workers as I possibly can, because I know that there's a lot of injured workers out there that are getting screwed. And we want to help. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. I invite you to become a subscriber. It's free. Nobody's going to ask for money. All of the information I provide in this channel is free. And I've got over 30 years of content. I'm over 128 videos now in just a little under a year. I've got a ton more to put out. All right, friends? And as always, take care.